Alright guys, hope everybody's doing alright. Today, I went ahead and I'm going to post a video. This first video has to do with the garage. I'm going to do how to set up a tournament later. And so, first thing we're going to talk about are these items down here. These items we have crew, upgrades, appearance, consumables, provisions, ammunition, and equipment. So, I'm not 100% a professional, I will tell you that up front, but I will tell you what I do know, and maybe it'll help you when navigating through the garage. So, first one is crew. This one gets overlooked a lot. A lot of people don't know about it, but as you do battles, you will accelerate these different training levels. So, for example, you have here a fast capture. This is for light tanks. So we'll start with this dice one here. This one is a hasty shot, and what that is, it gives a 3% chance to make an accurate shot when dispersion is more than 100% higher than the minimum value. Okay, and dispersion, if you don't know what that is, basically what the dispersion level is when you're aiming at a tank and you see the circular ring that goes in and out as you're aiming for a tank. Well, the wider that circle is, okay, the less likely you are to hit your shot. So the tighter the circle, smaller it is, if you're aiming at a target, you'll hit the shot pretty well, pretty right on. Okay, so with that in mind, it says it gives a chance to make an accurate shot when dispersion is more than 100% higher than a minimum value. So basically saying, if you're aiming at a target and you're really just quickly aiming at a target and your circle is really big, you have a 3% chance more accurate of a shot. Okay, which is a cool deal. We don't think of that. A lot of these different items here we don't think of. There's a breakthrough. There's many different things, and I'll have you guys, you can go through there and read it yourself and look at these, but they are helpful. They may be small little boosts, so to speak, to your tank, but in the end they will help you quite a bit. So let's go back. Now we'll go to upgrades. So for this low, there's not any upgrades really. So what I can do is, let's go back. Let's pick a tank that does have some upgrades. This is VK4502. Go to upgrades. Okay, so pretty self-explanatory. Most of you already know this, but here's your guns that you can research. I've already researched those. And then this over here, if you're not familiar with this item here, this is your detailed overview. Now this gives you your main armor, the front of the tank. It's 185. The turret. Now remember, the turret is a spinning gun on top, if you're not familiar with what a turret is. Okay, your hull is below that, so where the tracks are, and right above that, that's your hull. Okay, so the front, if you're looking straight at the tank, turret is 185, hull is 120. Okay, and sides 80, rear 80, so on and so forth. Okay, you got a view range of how far the tank can see or spot, so to speak. You can spot somebody. Okay. The percentage, again, some of these I don't know 100% very well, but again, I'll let you read through these and get an idea. But this is a detailed overview about the tank. Okay. Now this is a brief overview. This is just real quick. Hey, damage. How much damage do I create when I shoot a shot? Rate of fire, penetration, armor speed, rotation, and you can compare quickly with another tank. So if we went over there to this 4502B, okay, you can see the difference between the two tanks. Okay, pretty cool. So keep that in mind. Pretty helpful there. Okay. Next item we have is appearance. So I think you're all pretty much familiar with this. You have your paint jobs that you can choose. You have your common, which are free. You can choose different paint jobs. So above here you have your premium paint jobs. Now you'll notice on some of these, there are some that you can get just with money. that don't require gold. You've already basically qualified for them. I just have to pay a little money, I believe. Now this one, I don't know. Do I have to here? Yeah, I didn't have to pay money for that one. This one, same thing. Okay. And you'll notice the reason you can have this one I have to pay money for, but the reason you don't have to pay money for these two here is because if you look here, it says supply level 10. Our clan is at a supply level 10, so you kind of get these for free. Cool little extras, okay? Again, some of these you have to pay for with gold, okay? I think most of y'all are familiar with that, but some with cash, or with your silver, excuse me, with cash. I wish, right? So silver, yeah. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Okay, next thing you have attachments. Now this particular vehicle doesn't have an attachment at the moment. So what we can do here, let me go to a tank that does. That's Chrysler K. Has some attachments, yeah. So it has attachment, and it's right here, this little flag. These attachments do not help you in any way. They just look cool, okay? But some tanks have these, some tanks don't. Some tanks you have to, of course, most of them you have to pay with gold to get these attachments. So they don't really help you, but they're there. They look nice, so very cool. Okay. Alright, next item we have is we have our consumables. Now, this is how I do it. You don't have to do it this way. Again, this is just my personal experience with them. I always find that when I'm in a situation in a battle and I get hit and my track's knocked out, well, that's what this one's for. This one down here, this is your repair kit. It is for like track damage. Your hull gets stuck because somebody, your turret gets stuck because somebody hit it. That's a quick way to do that. Now I usually run with another one too. I run with the multi-purpose restoration pack. Now I will normally use this one for fires or to heal a crew member. Course, multi-purpose, but I don't usually use them for like tracks and things. I try to keep this bottom one. That way I can keep it as free as long as possible. Now the middle one, I always run with this one. This is your adrenaline. This, speeds up your reload process so you can shoot faster. And it's pretty handy, The other two of these, I don't really use these. Speed, I will use for a big heavy tank like the TOG. Use it for a TOG. You have to have this thing for a TOG. So, again, you'll play with these, get used to what you like. But this is what I run with. Next item, provisions. Now, some people I have heard talking, and they're like, I don't use provisions. I don't understand why. Provisions help you out. Not, tremendously. I can tell a difference, especially with like the low. So when I first started getting into provisions, I was driving the low here. This thing is slow without provisions. Provisions help tremendously. So I'll give you a rough breakdown of what I do. Again, here's the detailed information over here on the right. It tells you exactly, but when I'm running like the low, I want it to be as quick as possible. Okay, for me. So what I do is I run this improved fuel, and I also run the standard fuel. Okay, and they increase quite a bit your power to your engine. Okay, it increases your turret traverse speed. Okay, now also with a heavy tank like the low, I run the chocolate. Okay, this is the this isn't just the chocolate bar, this is the full chocolate thing, okay? What does this do? Well, it increases your whole traverse speed, all these other view range damage per minute. I focus on the traverse speed myself, and this is the three I run with. Now, if I'm in another tank like, let's see, a fast tank, I may have it set up this way. No, I got it normal. Fast tank. Here we go. No, I don't have it set up exactly. On some fast tanks, I'll have this one taken away here, our standard fuel, and replace it with just the chocolate bar. What that does, increase my speed. It's already fast. It's already a fast tank, so I don't really need a whole bunch of speed per se. So what this does is this improves other things like your view range and damage per minute, and I want that more with a light tank than I do speed, because I already got speed. Sometimes I do that, so it's really dependent on you. These I've never used really the protective kit. I usually am with these, but again, that's up to you. You can read that fine details there. Okay. So provision is pretty much provisions. You have ammunition. Now, of course, you have different types of ammunition. I'm not going to get deep into the ammunition. Again, this is just for the garage. If you're navigating, what am I looking at? Okay, so on this RU, we have armor piercing, which is traditional ammunition. And right here, this tells you your penetration value, what you can penetrate. So 171 millimeters to 189. And this shows you the damage that you will create when you hit them, when you penetrate. So 169 to 281. Okay. Same with high explosive. High explosive. Okay. And excuse me, high explosive anti-tank. Then you have high explosive. Okay. This is your heat, HE. You can see the differences there between the two. Of course, you also know this most likely already, but high explosive anti-tank is more expensive. Now, we had this discussion the other night with Jesse, which was really cool. Jesse didn't realize, and that's why it took me a long time too. I thought I could only have to use gold, but it took me a little bit, and I found out right here there's a magical button that translates this to buying it from gold to silver. So you can use your silver. It's a lot less expensive than using gold. So, pretty cool little deal. Okay? Okay. Equipment. So, your equipment, let me get one that has everything unlocked here. Oops. Load has everything unlocked. Yeah. So, if we go here to our equipment, these are pretty neat to research. I'm not 100% in all the details I should be. Like I said, I just know the basics of them. So if you want to read those details, you can. And this microphone's bugging me. It's giving me a hard time here. Alright, there we go. So you have combat power. Now, I normally, Rev and I were talking about this the other day, but I normally take in the gun rammer. This increases your reload time. It's normally what I use for most tanks. Now, there is a way, like for example, using the what's a tank? An AMX, like a little AMX with the auto loader, right? I would probably use this, okay, because this increases the armor piercing. Because they're guns, almost not all the AMX, but some of the AMXs do not penetrate that well. So you can increase your penetration, or you can have faster reload time. I like the faster reload time most of the time, but it's there. Next one's vitality. So they've actually updated this. This is they've made these vitalities a little better. So the defense system. Well, let me back up here. They don't here. The vitality is different from tier 8 to like tier 6. So if I go to a tier 6 tank, okay, and I go to the same vitality, here you go. You actually have minus 10 penetration of enemy HE shells with a caliber larger than 130. That's cool. So that helps with light tanks, medium tanks, especially when when the lovely KV2s hit us in the side, right, and blow us up. So that helps with that. Now this next one, increase durability modules, reduce damage from ramming. So this would be helpful for like light tanks because heavy tanks like to run into them, and so that very helpful there. Okay. Alright, this specialization is you have a camo net and you have your improved optics. Improved optics I always use for my mediums and my lights. in my heavies. The only time I use camo net really is for the TDs. You can set in place, and if you're a TD and you're sitting still, and if you sit still for a certain amount of time, you'll see a little camo net icon pop up on your screen. Okay? So when you see that, it gives you extra concealment. Okay, +5 to concealment. Okay, or excuse me. Just to make your fire long range more effective. +5 concealment when the vehicle's moving. The bonus is doubled if the vehicle remains stationary for 3 seconds. Pretty cool. Okay. Now, once you move your tank side to side, okay, once you move it side to side and you actually move your tank, not the turret. So what's cool is that double bonus of concealment will stay even if you have a turreted vehicle. So you can take that turret, swing it around all day, and it's still going to have that bonus. Now, with that in mind, if you move your hull and move the tank sideways or physically roll it forward, it's going to go away. So pretty cool. Improved optics just increases your viewing range. Okay. Next one is the enhanced gun lane drive. It decreases the aiming time after the vehicle has moved. Okay, so you've moved, you're aiming at a vehicle, and it's just, say you're aiming at somebody, then you move again, and what it's going to do is going to be a plus 10% to aiming speed, making it quicker to aim at a vehicle after you've moved. Okay, I normally use this guy here, Supercharge. What does it do? Well, it increases the chance of hitting and penetrating from a distance. So you have a +30 to shell velocity and a -50 to penetration decrease with distance. I like that +30 to shell velocity. That means if you're at a distance and you're sniping or you're halfway across the map, you can really hit somebody and penetrate them better than you would without this. Okay. So, next item we have here is we have our improved assembly or our enhanced armor. +4% the hull and turret armor. I don't know. My opinion is if I got heavy armor, I have an advantage already. I might use this because, like, for example, the let's look here. Let's go to our store. Oh, tanks. This guy. The Tiger here, 88 Jag Tiger, Yag, whatever, Yog. Yeah, Yog Tiger here, 88. This guy has some serious armor, right? So, I mean, I might add that 4% to help the already strong armor, but I don't know. It's really a personal opinion of what you want to use? But I normally go for the increased vehicle HP, survivability in battle, just because you don't get just shot in the front, you get shot everywhere, and I'd rather have more vehicle HP, okay? Or HP is hit points, right? So, next item, improved control, allows for fast responsive enemy actions, +10 to the top traverse speed of the vehicle. You also have allows strategic positions to be taken more quickly, +5% to reaching top speed. So slow tank, I use this guy. We want to get to speed as quick as possible. If we're in a slow tank like the low, I'd use this. Now for the traverse speed, I might use for medium or light, or it just depends on the tank. If I got a really slow traverse speed, like what's the name of that tank? It's the 100P. Am I saying that right? Hold on, gotta make sure I'm right here. Or the VK168 or the VK100-01P. Yeah, you might want to put an extra little traverse on there. Okay. So, oops. I was at tier 6, wasn't I? Okay. So, next item we have is this guy down here. Vertical stabilizer allows for more accuracy when shooting while the vehicle's moving. So you have a +15% to accuracy during movement and traverse. The refined gun increases the chance of hitting the enemy at -10% to dispersion at 100 meters. Normal one I use is this guy. Okay, it allows for more accuracy when shooting while the vehicle is moving. A +15 to accuracy. during movement and turret traverse. I don't know how many times I'm moving, somebody comes around me, and I'm moving my turret trying to keep up with them, and I fire and it misses. And they're right there. They're sitting right next to me. Okay? This helps with that. Okay? Increase the chance of hitting the enemy minus 10% to dispersion at 100 meters. Okay? I honestly do not understand that 100%. Maybe one of you guys can explain to me sometime what that means exactly. I need to look into it a little more, but normally use that one. So, okay, we have toolbox. I normally, honestly, these last two groups of modules here, I do not use. I don't know. Usually they're the hardest to research, the most expensive, and yeah, there's a plus 30 to module repair speed, all that. I don't know. I don't use them that much. So as far as a lesson on these two, I can't really help you too much. Usually it's because these are the most expensive to research, and I feel like I get my money's worth out of these. So, personal opinion there. You can look into those as well. All right, pretty much it, guys. It's again, just for this lesson, we'll go over some other things over talking about the main menu here, our garage. But right now we just kind of went over these items here briefly. You can read the details. Yeah, I encourage you to read those details. And they really only matter when you're comparing tanks, because they're all different. All the numbers are different, all the stats. But that's good to know. It's good to read, good to understand your tank a little better. But anyways, well guys, that was the end of my first video created for our BBC One YouTube channel, and hopefully it's helpful to some point. And I'll see you guys later.